Let's talk about all this African entitlement. Hello, hello, Kartia Velino. Kartia Velino. Guys, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. My name is Kartia Velino. I'm trying to have my eyes on the lens. This side is the lens, this side is the mirror. So I'm used to looking on this side. So let me try to get over here. So guys, how you guys doing? We're counting down for the holiday season, and I have a special message for you guys. Very special message. Today I want to talk about the sense of entitlement. Because coming from Nigeria, coming from Africa, this entitlement is very prevalent to our community, our society, our upbringing. Everybody is requesting, and they think that they are deemed, you know what I mean, like entitlement that comes from, I'm not even talking about your parents here. Let's leave the parents aside, because when a parent gives a birth, when you bring a child into this world, I still believe that it's your responsibility as a parent to provide for those children until they get to a certain age, like after they graduate from university here. But I'm talking about something that is an epidemic in our society, in Nigeria, in Africa. I'm not sure what part of Africa you come from, but if you agree with me, give this thumbs up. So this epidemic that I'm talking about is entitlement, a sense of entitlement. Not even, and everybody is entitled to something. Just because your brother is doing well or your sister is doing well, becomes an entitlement on your own side that your sister must, or your brother must, or your uncle must, or your auntie must look after you financially, take care of your business, pay the school fees for your children. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. These things needs to be straightened up right now. Growing up, my uncle used to live in overseas. We were 10 in our family. So we kind of always look at this uncle. This uncle live for Budoibo, and look at us here. Things are not very rosy for us. But when I grew older and left Nigeria, I begin to realize that it was wrong. It was really wrong for you to look up to an uncle, a sister, or brother, or somebody, cousins, niece, third generation, fourth cousin, for you to look after their well-being. After all, nobody looked after you. When you really think about that, how many people really looked after you to take you to where you are today? How many people really do that? And this is why a whole lot of people in this part of the world are committing so much crime. A lot of them have their butts locked up in the cell because they are trying to please the people back home. It is not like that. Stop requesting for your entitlement. It is not your entitlement. If a brother, an auntie, an uncle, or cousin wants to give you, just understand that they're giving it to you not because you are entitled to that, but because they want to give it to you. The Bible says, love thy neighbor. Neighbor does not mean your brother, your sister. Neighbor could be everybody. I have come across this so many times when people open their mouth and say, Odimmanilo. Odimmanilo means the person is always taking care of the outsiders, and forgetting the people, I'm forgetting his or her own immediate relations. Let me clarify some things here for you, brother and sister. Anybody is a neighbor. And because somebody is your brother or sister does not mean that you have to that person really have to give you. I take myself for example. When I first came into this country, I was homeless. Yes, I came here as a refugee over 20 years ago. Homeless, slept on the street. And if there is somebody then that And then I was offered a home by government and so many things and welfare and so many things. I'm just sharing a little bit of information to you guys. And then tomorrow, I become a millionaire. I decide to give back to Canadian government for giving back to me. I can decide and say, you know what, this is my house. If I sell it, I want to give it back to Canadian government so that they can use this to as a shelter, to provide shelter for people who does not have the opportunity, like people who are just still coming in, that doesn't have any base. People back home will look at you and say, I'm telling you, this is exactly how it works in Africa. You have a house in overseas. You decided to give it to Canadian government. Meanwhile, your brother is suffering. Your sister is suffering. Your niece is suffering. Your cousin is suffering. For crying out loud, because somebody is a nephew, a niece, a sister, a brother, does not mean that that person has contributed to my well-being. Being the same blood does not mean that that person has contributed to my well-being. I'm telling you that however you make your wealth, however you want to distribute that, whoever you want to give, depends on who has given you, who has been there for you, who have cried for you, who have patted on your back for you, who fought for you, who fight the fight for you, who were in the room where people were castigating you and trying to put you down. She stood up. I will not be here when you guys put this person down. And then tomorrow, when that person turn around and say, this is my sibling from another mother or from another father, and decide to go towards that route to help that person. The other people, I'm telling you, the family will say, or the money, look, because you're somebody's family does not mean, I keep repeating that, don't push the people, especially people in diaspora. Don't push them so much. They don't owe you anything. If you're a diasporan, please let this message get inside your head. I don't know. I'm saying this generally. Generally, people back home thinks that you owe them something. You really don't owe them anything. The only people you owe something are your parents. You don't owe your sister anything. You don't owe your brother anything. Everybody has to get up their butt and go and work. It is very important that you go and sow your seed, start watering your seed, wait for them to have the seeds, and then you can enjoy the fruit of your labor. Don't point fingers at people saying, hey, auntie, uncle, this, that, oh, they do this, they do that, and then, oh, sister, uncle, they're living lavishly and they're forgetting you. For crying out loud, they don't owe you anything. Stop pushing people in this part of the world. And holiday season is around the corner. A lot of people from this part of the world will be traveling back home. And the people back home, you think it's because, let me tell you, it's because of some of the attitude of the people back home. That's why your brother or your sister will come back home. She will not tell you that she's coming or he's coming. They will leave. They wouldn't tell you that they're coming or they're leaving. Because a lot of people are parasites. Parasites, you can tell one person alone and then 100 people hover around her. You give them, they say it's not enough. You give this person, she'll compare what you give her to what you give the other person. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? I wish that my mother told me what I'm telling you right now when I was growing up, because there was not internet when I was growing up, and we were never told to stop looking up to uncle, that we are not the responsibilities of our uncle, neither are we the responsibilities of our own, or neither are we the responsibility of our aunties. You understand what I'm talking about? So parents, if you're out there, call your children, tell them that auntie is not responsible for paying your school fees. If auntie brings it, it's a plus. Uncle is not responsible for opening a business for you. If uncle brings that, it's a bonus. Be grateful for that, because a whole lot of people that I know that live in the diaspora, their parents did not send them to overseas. A lot of them struggled to be where they are today. So go out and struggle for yourself. I'm not telling you to go and put yourself in trouble, but there are so many avenues that you can explore to make money, to make a living. But the issue is that a whole lot of people live false life, fictitious life. They want this hair, they didn't work for it. They want this lipstick, they didn't work for it. Africa or Nigeria is the only country where you beg money and people give you money. In this part of the world, nobody gives you nothing. If you don't have it, you don't have it. If you don't have it, you gotta go and work hard, figure out what you're gonna do. If you have to go and wipe people's ass in the hospital to get it, go and do it. Nobody gives anybody. Stop pointing fingers at this uncle, at this auntie that they owe you. They don't know you nothing. They don't owe you nothing. Neither. They don't owe you anything. Go and work hard. Stop living false life. And parents, we were 10. My mother had 10 of us. My husband, they are 10 too. In this day and age in Africa, in Nigeria, please try as much as you can to talk about or think about family planning. 2 children is good enough for you. And this is why there are so many criminals everywhere. People open their legs, they have kids, they cannot take care of their children. They turn into armed robbers, prostitution. So many things are going on over there. And when auntie or uncle comes back, it becomes aunties and uncles' responsibilities to take care of you. Those kind of entitlement, squash them. You are not entitled to anything. You are entitled to your own hard work. You don't owe anybody anything, neither does anybody owe you anything. Go and start working hard for yourself. Go and make it happen. Figure out how you can make it happen. Figure out how you can make it happen. You see these fingers, they are not the same. They are definitely not the same. So go and work hard and enjoy the fruit of your labor, and don't envy people who you see and inside your head you believe that they've made it. You don't know what they're going through, what's going on their head. You don't know. You don't live with them. You don't wake up with them. You don't eat with them. You don't do business with them. All you see is something you see from the peripheral, from the outside. Okay, you assume, okay, this person is living a better life. No. So guys, I will leave you guys here.